Voters may get some answers today about the political landscape in Texas as several high-stake runoff races will be decided. SMU political science professor Matthew Wilson joining us this morning. Good morning, sir. Good to see you.
Good morning, Lauren. Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's begin with the Texas Republican Senate runoff. I think a lot of people are ready to see this one finally put to an end. This race not only, big here in Texas, but I mean, the nation's watching this one. It appears to be, I don't know, instead of a race about who believes in what, it's like who's more loyal to President Trump, right?
Yeah, it's really extraordinary. This race has attracted even international media attention. For a primary runoff, it's pretty remarkable. But it really is a powerful test of different styles of doing politics. John Cornyn and Ken Paxton are on the same page on almost every major issue. They would vote basically the same way in Washington, D.C. But they have very different styles of doing politics. A John Cornyn style is more conciliatory, it's more courtly, more statesmanlike. Ken Paxton is much more of a brawler. He's a partisan fighter. And it really does present a contrast in terms of what style of politics voters are looking for. More confrontational or more conciliatory.
Yeah, I almost feel like it's like old school Republicans against new school. Like
in a lot of ways, that's right.
Yeah, because some of the older generations voted for Cornyn and would like to see him stick around. Others are ready for change. Let's take a look at the president, while weighing on the Senate race, decided to kind of stay out of the Attorney General race so far. What message does that send?
Well, again, I don't think that there are a lot of differences on the issues between Middleton and Chip Roy. And I think that while Chip Roy has at times had some differences with President Trump over certain legislative priorities, I mean, both these guys are conservatives, let's face it. And Donald Trump has had nice things to say about both of them. But I think Middleton has been very effective at taking on the MAGA mantle. I mean, he's even run as MAGA Mays Middleton. And he came pretty close to winning in the first round. So I think you'd have to look at him as the favorite going into today.
Okay, let's look at the Democratic side as well. Former Congressman Colin Allred challenging his successor, Julie Johnson. What's that race going to tell Democrats in Texas?
Well, this is really a fascinating race because even though Allred is, of course, the African-American candidate, Julie Johnson has the support of most of the black political establishment in Dallas, with the major exception of Jasmine Crockett, who has supported Colin Allred. And the big question, I think, in that race is whether a lot of the Crockett voters who showed up back in the first round of the primary to support her, whether they show up again here in May to support Colin Allred. And that's going to, I think, largely determine the outcome of this race.
So turnout could be key. Yeah, definitely. What about as far as we move forward to this and look ahead?
I think turnout will absolutely be key in this race, and particularly, as I say, turnout of the.
All right. Thank you so much. Sorry for the delays there. Polls open until 7 p.m. tonight. After they close, you can see live coverage of the results on our Fox Local streaming app. We've got so much coverage about this. We got Stephen Dial, Sean Rabb, Casey Stiegel. They're all going to be here. They'll have analysis from 7 to 9 o'clock tonight. Scan the QR code for the Fox Local app. You can watch our live election coverage for free right there. A lot will be decided tonight. It is